15 Brutal Truths About Relationships. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers, and welcome back for another original video presented to you by Alux.com. Everybody loves love, right? Well, maybe not everybody, but almost everybody. Who wouldn't like a little romance and companionship? But before you get swept away in the fantasy of it all, you should know that there are some brutal truths about relationships that will bring you all back to reality. Today, we're going to look at 15 of these truths that you should keep in mind whether you're already in a relationship or are on the market. So let's get started. Number 15. You will not always like each other. You aren't going to be a lovable ray of sunshine every day, and neither is your partner. Everybody has bad days and difficult seasons in life, and you have to be willing to take the good with the bad. Give your partner some space if they need it, and recognize that the feelings of dislike are temporary, at least in most cases. Number 14. Fights are inevitable. You could be soulmates who are connected on every level in every time and space, but you're still going to have disagreements. It's the nature of being human. A healthy amount of fighting is good for a relationship. It ideally results in conflict resolution, growth, and a closer bond. However, if you use destructive tactics like name-calling, low blows, bringing up past issues, and physical aggression, it can have the very opposite effect. Number 13. Your partner will change, and not always in a good way. You are not the same person you were a year ago. Whether you've changed for the good or bad in subtle or obvious ways, you definitely have changed. These changes become more obvious the longer you stay with a person, to the point where the person you're dating hardly resembles the person you first fell in love with. Ideally, you and your significant other will grow together in the same direction, but sometimes the opposite happens and partners no longer share the same worldview, life goals, or interests. This has great potential to drive two people apart in the long run, and it's not something that can be easily avoided. Number 12. Compromise is not optional. When you're in a relationship, it's not just about you anymore. You aren't going to get your way 100% of the time, and neither is your significant other. You probably aren't going to always agree with which movie to watch, where to go on vacation, which side of the bed to sleep on, or a million other things. Give and take is essential in a relationship, so you better be ready to compromise. Number 11. The ones who love you the most can also hurt you the most. The people who are closest to you, including your significant other, know the most about you. This means they know what makes you happy, but they also know just how to push your buttons. Insults from loved ones can cut deep because they know just how to do it. If you start out with the low blows, you can expect your partner to lob them right back, and it could get very ugly very fast. Number 10. Love does not erase temptation. In an ideal world, you would only have eyes for your partner, but sometimes simple biology gets in the way of this. You're likely still going to be attracted to other people even if you love your significant other very much. Love doesn't erase temptation, but hopefully it'll keep you from acting on it. Number 9. You can never know exactly what's going on in your partner's mind. You might feel like you have the strongest connection possible with your partner, but you're still not a mind reader. Even if you two talk about everything, you can never be 100% sure about the things that go on in your partner's mind that they leave unsaid. Number 8. You might stay in a bad relationship for too long because it's comfortable. You might have been there before, some of you even more than once. Your relationship has fallen off, the spark is gone, you're barely communicating, but you're still sleeping next to this person every night. Why? It's comfortable. At least you know what you're dealing with in this relationship, and do you really want to put in the effort to start all over with someone new? Other people don't want to admit defeat and instead will keep up with appearances while sacrificing their own personal happiness. But ultimately, this is just doing a disservice to yourself. Number 7. All the red flags you initially ignore only become a bigger problem later on. Yes, love is blind, and the initial infatuation we may have for someone will often cause us to overlook all the red flags we can so easily identify in our friends' significant others. But these issues never go away, and in fact will become even bigger problems the longer you try to sweep them under the rug. Number 6. Relationships are hard work. I know you've heard this before, but it's still something that not enough people pay proper attention to. As with anything, the results you get are directly proportional to the work you put into it. Some of this work involves assessing your own behaviors and determining how you can be a better partner and actually following through. But there's a lot more to it than that. If you find that your significant other isn't worthy of the time and effort it takes to maintain a healthy relationship, it's time to reassess. Not being willing to put in the work is one of many reasons why people don't find love. To find out some more about this, click in the top right corner to watch our video, The 15 Reasons Why People Don't Find Love. Number 5. You cannot be looking to constantly upgrade. With the ease of access most of us have to dating apps and social media, there are literally thousands of potential partners at our fingertips at any given time. But your relationship will never work if you always have one eye focused on who else might be interested or available. It's not fair to your significant other, and ultimately you'll suffer as well, because you'll never be truly happy with who you have. Number 4. You will never find the perfect person for you. Now, some of you might want to argue this point. You might think you've already found the absolute perfect person for you, but that would mean there's literally nothing, big or small, you would change about them, and nothing that they do irritates or annoys you at any time. Now I ask you, can you honestly say that? All people are flawed. You just have to determine if the flaws your significant other has are ones you're prepared to deal with in the long term. Number 3. Love isn't enough. Despite what hundreds or even thousands of love songs might tell you, simply being in love is not enough to sustain a healthy, long-term relationship. You need other elements as well, like trust, respect, understanding, communication, honesty, and friendship. There are also all of the logistical aspects of a relationship that involve things like paying bills, potentially raising children, and determining where to live. And all of these factors will affect whether a relationship will survive. Number 2. You cannot rely on a relationship for happiness. If you're looking for happiness in another person, you're not going to find it. You have to find happiness within yourself, without relying on someone else to be the source of your happiness. That just puts an unfair burden on your partner, and it's much more likely that your unhappiness would bring them down to the point where you are both unhappy. Number 1. You will get your heart broken. Well, Aluxers, we've reached the top of our list, and we're going to end this on a sad, simple truth. You will, at one point or another, get your heart broken. This is a truth for the 99% of us who do not end up staying with our first love forever. The truth is that most relationships ultimately don't work out and end in either a breakup or a divorce. Sometimes a breakup can be the best thing that ever happened to you, but it's hard to recognize that when the heartbreak is fresh. But if you approach it with the right perspective, a broken heart can teach you lessons and help you grow, and will eventually help lead you to the person that is right for you. And that wraps up our list, Aluxers. We wish you all the best in life and love, but you should definitely keep these brutal truths in mind when getting involved in any relationship. And now that we've reached the end of our list, we're curious. Do you have any brutal truths of your own you'd like to add to the list? Let us know in the comments. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, here's your bonus. Not surprisingly, the global divorce rate is constantly rising. In fact, it's increased over 250% since 1960. The country with the highest divorce rate is Luxembourg, where over 85% of marriages are ending in divorce. The country with the lowest divorce rate is India, where only 1% of marriages end in divorce. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos for you to watch next. As always, the conversation continues on social media. Thanks again, and we can't wait to have you back tomorrow.